Hey everyone, happy Thursday. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. I'm the author of Sew and Stitch Embroidery, and I'm here every weeknight at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. So thanks again for joining me tonight. We are here to relax and craft and work on a project. We are working on block 3 of the I Love Home Block of the Month quilt along. This is block 3. There are 3 blocks in all, and there are 4 blocks in all. Here is our block 3 so far. I am doing applique for all of the hearts and the plants, and then embroidery for everything else. So we'll complete the outline of this house tonight, I think, and then start digging into more of these windows. So that's the plan. And yep, I got my glasses on again tonight. I just thought they were fun and cute, so I'm wearing them again tonight. I mean, they do reflect my lights a little bit, but I like them. They're silly. I like them. I do have a link to these if you want in my post here. They are from Firmoo. It's an online place. All the frames are less than $39, and they're having a buy one get one for the frames right now, and you can get your prescriptions in there. Or mine are the blue light canceling lenses for monitors and screens and that sort of thing. So I wear them all day long while I'm at my computer. So that's what I'm doing, and I think they're cute. They're wacky. I got like these weird purple little deals on here, but I like them. So check those out. And if you want to join this quilt along, it is by Jacquelynne Steves, the I Love Home Block of the Month quilt along. And we will be doing it through the end of December, probably for sure. So there's time to join. There is a link here in my post if you would like to join. It's free, so might as well, right? We're making it from start to finish here, and all my videos are online on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies on YouTube. So you can start and watch all those and just stitch and sew with me if you'd like. All right, I'm going to flip you around and we'll get going. Thanks for joining me tonight, guys. All right, time to embroider. So here we are. Like I said, we did all this yesterday and we finished one of the cute little windows. We did all backstitch, and then these were the scallops were little fly stitches. I think just because it's going to bother me, I'm going to finish the outline tonight and maybe do the door or something else. You know, in theory, I don't know, I kind of want to work on this window, but this unfinished house is freaking me out. So we're going to start by finishing that. So I'm going to get it into the hoop. I've wrapped my inner hoop, and I did this in an earlier video, but I did this for the purpose of being gentler on my main fabric here. It like makes it rounder so it won't crease my fabric as much. And I did take my fabric out of the hoop overnight, and look, so now it doesn't have that big circle mark or anything from my hoop anymore. So I want to take it out and let it rest overnight, basically. So I'm going to just kind of center this guy now that I don't need to move it over to stitch over here. Move it up a hair. Okay, and I'm going to just I think I'll probably start here tonight and do these little chimneys and, ooh, maybe there's a better way to do this. Oh, you know what? I don't think there's any. This is like one of the, I always try and kind of map it out beforehand, but no matter what, I'm going to end up in a place where I can't get this last line. Ah, well. So I think I'm going to start at this part here, the chimney, and I'll probably go to here and then start here. So that's my plan. Thanks. I'm glad you like the flower, Athena. Yeah. So my parameters on this project were I'm going to do everything that is a plant and a heart in needle turn applique, and everything else I'm going to embroider. I wanted to play with the look of applique and embroidery together, and I wanted to practice my needle turn applique. So here's our cute flower. We finished that the other evening, and I just think the embroidery and applique are just really fun together. So, all right, I got my gigungous cone of thread here. This is, let's see. So here's your normal skein. This is 8 meters. This is 2,100 meters. So I buy a lot of floss. So here we go. I'm going to start off the night. I always grab like maybe, I don't know, 24 inches worth or so. Snip that. And I am going to separate 3 strands out of here. I'm doing 3 strands instead of all 6 because I want a thinner line. 6 strands, the line would be like twice as thick, and I don't want it that thick. So I'm going to isolate 1 strand and kind of pinch the rest of the strands, and I'm going to pull. I'm going to pull that strand out and let it all bunch up behind. There we go. And I'm just going to kind of relax that. I'm just going to run my hand through it, and it's perfect. Again, all that bunching went away. So I'm going to do that 2 more times. This, I think, is the fastest way to separate your thread. And we've also done a test. It lies flatter when you just have the 3 strands all separated like this versus twisted. Like these ones are still twisted because I didn't pull them out all separately yet. So we did a test between what if we stitched these 3 as a group and what if we twisted or stitched these 3 twisted ones as a group, and the ones that weren't twisted that we took apart and put back together, like what we are doing now, it had less knots and less kind of twisting as we were stitching. So that was kind of fun. Try that out. Oh, the Walmart floss doesn't separate as nicely. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, a good quality floss it does make a difference. I mean, the feel, the touch of it. I mean, the look of it too. It's good floss. In theory, if it's this kind of floss, is shinier and it's stronger. As you're stitching, it won't wear. Like a lot of times, if you're stitching with a long piece of thread, you're pulling it in and out of the fabric a bunch. It's rubbing against the thread every single time you stitch. And if you have kind of a cheaper floss, you're gonna rub. It's like friction on your thread every single time you put a stitch in, and so it's gonna fray and wear away. I'm gonna weave in the ends here and then start stitching along the top here. Yeah, so there are those giant bags of floss, like 50 skeins of floss for $5 or whatever. If you just want to putz around, those are great, or like for little kid craft projects or something. But if you want to really have more enjoyment, really, when you embroider, a little higher quality thread is good, and higher quality thread is readily available too. Like this is DMC floss. You can get it almost anywhere, and there's other brands too that are really nice. All right, here we go. We are all woven in there. But yeah, just separate. It's the difference between, do you want a bunch of knots and twists and stuff while you're stitching, or, things to fray while you're stitching, or do you want to just kind of start to eliminate a few of those elements a little bit? So if you're just starting and don't know, I was going to say if you're just starting and you don't know if you want to invest in it, then getting a little bag of that. But, 1 skein of floss is like less than $1. So, really, do you, if you want to just give it a go, it's less than $1 to give it a go. All you need for embroidery is a scrap piece of fabric and some floss and a needle, So in theory, get the needle for less than $1 and get the floss for less than $1, and you're ready to go. Grab some fabric scraps that you have around. And things look very pretty with just one color too. Like we're doing all of this in just this orangey coral color. You know, it's fun to have a big set of rainbow colors. But really, if you want to just give it a try and see if you like it, it's like a $2 investment and time. Oh, it's 43 cents. Oh, DMC. I'm guessing that's a typo. DMC is 43 cents at your Walmart. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that Walmart. They can get some magic special deals. Yeah, Aurifil, the 6-strand embroidery floss, which is what I'm using now, they have that on a cute little spool, which is kind of fun. I think I might have some of that around here. I'll have to go do some digging again. I'm planning on cleaning up my craft stuff a little bit this weekend, hopefully, or maybe working on a little craft project or something, but I don't know. Do you guys ever, you get done with a project and you just kind of need to clean a little bit? Like I feel like I need to clean my office and clean the house a little bit just to kind of reset a little bit. So I'm hoping that's what my weekend will be. Resetting the house, rebooting the house. Oh, Wanda, you won them from the Crafty Quilters. Awesome. Alrighty, I am moving along here. I will announce our winner tomorrow, unless she's in here. She can announce it if she's in here. But otherwise, I'll do it tomorrow. But that's awesome. Yeah, so that's the fun thing. So there will be. I just got an email on what the Block 4 giveaway is going to be, and it's going to be awesome. So I won't tell you until we get Block 4. At the beginning of December, but it's a real good one. And yeah, you guys can sign up. If you follow my newsletter or my blog, I do post when, all right, I do have a list of the other people in the blog. Oh God, what are those called? Those where there a bunch of people are doing a project together. Oh man. But there's several different designers and quilters doing this. Oh, blog hop. That's the word I'm trying to think of, a blog hop. And if you don't win here, there's a chance to win with all those other people as well. So you need to go to their website, where I do have links on the blog for that. You need to go to their website to find out their rules to enter and stuff. Betty, you can wrap your hoop really with any scrap fabric. I happened to have some linen fabric that was already cut into like 1 inch or 1.5 inch strips. So I just used that for wrapping my hoop. But if you're a quilter and you have some binding left over or something, that'd be great. Or just some like little 1 inch, 1.5 inch scraps would do a great job for wrapping your hoop. You don't need anything special, really. I don't think so, at least. Maybe some people think so, but I just use scrap fabric. So if you were watching the replay on YouTube yesterday, I apologize. My screen capture didn't work out quite right, so I had to get the video right from Facebook, and the comments don't come up on Facebook like how they do when I capture my screen. So what you see on YouTube is actually what I'm seeing, because I'm capturing my my phone screen onto my computer, and And that video is what I post onto YouTube. So what's nice about that is that I can see your guys' comments and I'm reacting right to your comments. On Facebook, I think there's quite a bit of a delay, like a 7-second delay between you guys typing and me seeing what you're saying. But on YouTube, it looks like your comment pops up and then I answer right away because that's the first time I'm seeing it, and my phone, or the YouTube is showing what my phone's seeing. But last night, that didn't work out, so if you are watching the YouTube replays, there are no comments in yesterday's video, so I'm hoping that's not the case tonight. Because that's the best part, is when we get a chit-chat about stuff. All right, I am almost out of thread, so that little cut of thread did not take me too far. Did we do this? No, we didn't. All we did was this, wasn't it? Man, I'm out of thread already. Dang. I think we'll get a couple stitches going down the other way. Oh, Gretchen, I think one of the, I mean, you know, I do embroider often, but I think one of the things that allows me to go a little faster is, we talked about this yesterday, but I do have that active backhand where I'm feeling every thread. Every time my fingers are always touching the thread. Like I can feel it when I poke the needle through and I bring my needle up, I can feel the thread. My finger's always here. I'm separating before I make my next stitch. Like I'm gonna make my next stitch up here. You know, let me check on the front. Yeah, like right about there. I always have my finger in between so the threads aren't looping around and making knots. And I'm kind of always keeping that separate so it doesn't make a knot. And because I have that active backhand, it does allow me to go fast. But you might be able to see through, I always have my fingers kind of right here. And that's why I like embroidering near the edge of the hoop, because then I can still hold the hoop and touch the threads. It gets more difficult if I have to stitch in the middle here. I have a hard time, you know, touching the threads when they're that far away. You saw a square embroidery hoops for sale. I would think that square hoops would do a lot of damage to the corners. You know, I have not actually used a square hoop before. Some hoops that are square, they have those clamps on, and I've heard that those don't make as much of a crease. A lot of times I kind of think those are more for framing a design or something. A lot of the times with the edges, you're gonna trim that down anyway, so it doesn't matter if it wrecks the edges. I mean, like, look, this is fraying quite a bit, but I'm gonna be trimming it down like an inch or an inch and a half, so it doesn't matter so much. You also know that I hold my needle higher, moving up and seeing the difference. What do you mean, like up higher here versus down here? Let me see. I haven't thought about that before. I think it's probably, well, I'll start a new thing of floss and then I'll think about that. I haven't thought about how I hold the needle before. But I usually have a reason for why I do what I do. So I'll think about it for a second, be like, why am I holding it like that? And let you know. All right, so I'm weaving it in 3 times, trying to get as many threads as possible. It's that 3 that kind of locks it in place. If you only do 2, then it can still slip out. Trim that. Okay, and we have our other piece of floss here. Oh, thanks, Judith. Yeah, I almost match. Oh, it's a little pinkier than my floss. So I'm going to separate these 3, even though we already have 3 together. I could, in theory, just start stitching. But like I said, we did do that experiment that if we separated them still from its original twist, it did lie flatter overall and not twist up and knot as much as if we would have just left it all together. So I don't know. It's my new thing. I'm liking it. I think it's easy to separate the threads this way. So I'm still doing it. All right, let's thread this guy again. Oh, we didn't really go over threading the needle this time, but my favorite way to thread the needle, it's not to lick the ends and go this far away and try and get it in the needle. Like that's really difficult. Like it's just gonna bend and it doesn't want to go in. I always pinch it. So if it needs a clean edge, so like those 3 edges, they're kind of a little frayed. They're not all perfectly together. It's always a whole lot easier to just snip the end. Now you got 3 perfectly clean edges that are all at the same spot. So I will pinch that in my fingers like this so that if I start to unpinch it, there you can kind of see it come out. So pinch and then you can see it come out. So I'm going to pinch, and then the moment you start to see it come out, like I do it looking towards me like this. So the moment I start getting a little bit, you can see that tiny bit, that's when I'm going to put my needle over the top, and I'm going to keep unpinching, which kind of pushes it through the needle a little bit more, push the needle down, and then I'm just going to put my fingers on the other side and grab that floss. So that's how I thread my needle. I'll do it again for you guys if you're interested. And I do this for just normal floss and stuff too. So pinch it and release, throw the needle on top, push it down, grab it, and you're done. Easy peasy. All right, I'm wondering, I think I'm gonna start here now because I can go here, and going from here to here is less of a jump than if I went to here and had to jump all the way back to this line. So yeah, I think I'm gonna start here. I mean, I might run out of floss by here, but who knows. So let's weave it in the end right here, or I could weave it in right here. Let's do it right here. Okay. So 3 times, 1, leave a little end there. 2, 3. And as far as holding the needle up higher, it might just be so I can see my work easier. Oh, will 3 strands or will 6 strands go through the needle? Oh yeah, for sure. Here, we'll just do that quick. So here we go. This is the 6 strands just directly from my cone. I'm just holding this from my cone. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing that pinch, and I gradually unpinch. There I can see it right away. Squish it on there and keep going through. There you go. And just grab that. Good to go. So yeah, you can use that same method for thicker threads and stuff too. And I'm using these size 5 embroidery needles, so they have a larger eye. So they're meant to accommodate thicker floss like this. Sometimes with pearl cotton floss, you have to like kind of pinch it quite a bit. I can even put yarn in here, but you got to really get it in there. And sometimes yarn is a little too fat for one of these needles, but yeah, you can fit more than 3 strands using this method in these particular needles. It kind of depends on the size of the eye of the needle and how thick your floss is. All right, let's snip this little end off. Okay, I got my matching scissors though. It's like that same coral color almost, which I'm excited about. All right, here we go. Gonna start right here. Get the bottom of this roof down. Ooh, I'm gonna make my thread shorter by pulling on that tail a little bit. I like the thread shorter because then I don't have to pull my arm as far away from the piece. It's just faster. So I'm gonna try for a sec, just because I can see my line on the back. I'm gonna stitch it upside down just to kind of show you guys what my backhand is doing. So I'm going to do a few stitches. This is what my backhand is doing. It's feeling the thread go through, and it's separating where it's going out and going in. And then, oh, I got to peek. All right, so I'll do the next stitch. So I'm feeling that needle go through, and then I'm just putting my hand to the side. I'm feeling the thread go over my finger like that. I gotta peek at the other side. Okay, that looks good. And now I'm pushing the thread away as I make my next stitch. Let me peek again. Yep. So again, that's separating what came out last and what's going in. If I would just leave this, it would twist around each other and potentially make a knot. Like if I'm not doing anything, that's twisting around. I don't know if I'll make a knot. Oh, it didn't make a knot that time, but in theory, that could have twisted and made a knot. So that's why I like having this hand to kind of separate that, push that away from where my next stitch is going to be, and let my finger kind of be the buffer in between those stitches, and then I just let it release. So I'm totally actively using that backhand, and it's actually really, that's how I can stitch so fast, and that's how I don't have knots very often, is because I'm feeling with that left hand. It's like having eyes on the back of my embroidery, really. Your grandma used to say that my thread should be the length of, oh, the pointer finger to the elbow. Yeah, so that's actually, I might maybe do it a little bit longer than that, but yeah, if you're embroidering a lot, which, you know, a lot of stitches, this is a lot of repetitive stress, really, right? So when you move your arm, like if you have to go this like super far, then you're gonna put stress on your shoulder and everything. So having the shorter floss, I mean, yeah, you have to start and finish it more often, but you know, overall, you won't. It'll speed things up because you're not going as far. So that might be one of the reasons I'm faster too, is because I'm only going this distance. I'm not going like way far away. But yeah, pointer finger to elbow, that's probably pretty good. Sometimes I get lazy and go a little longer than that because I don't want to start and finish it all the time. But in general, that's about what I do. I tried your threading thing. Oh, just cannot get it to work for me. Maybe I need to shop for big-eyed needles. Oh, because your eyes just can't see the thread. Like your, okay, so not the eye of the needle. Your eyes have a hard time, like on your body, have a hard time seeing the thread in your fingers, or the eye of the needle isn't big enough to place over the thread. Let me know, Janet. So I just rotated just now, and that's because it was getting too far away for my left hand. Oh, both. Funny, Janet. Both. But it's getting too far for my left hand, which is my active backhand, to touch the threads. So I rotated it. So now my backhand has access to feel the floss again. So that's the only reason I rotated just then. Yeah, I'm not sure, Janet. I don't know. Maybe practice with it like really, really close to your face. Maybe, I don't know, like, I think it is, I mean, if you have like a needle threader or something like that, you can use that, but versus like licking it, and what I see a lot is people trying to thread it from far away, and I think this is a better technique over that. But yeah, I mean, if it's not working out, then that doesn't work. Oh, 18 inches works for you. That sounds perfect. But yeah, if you think it's the eye of the needle, like if you think your needle's too small, I mean, you know, if you're trying to thread embroidery floss into a sewing needle, I mean, that's normal sewing needles, like a universal, like Sharps needle, like something like this. Oh, well, this is a good example. This is that other straw needle, but you know, this is a much smaller eye than, let's see if I can get up here. I'll just unthread it. But like, look at the difference between these eyes. So this, you know, this one is meant for like just sewing thread for something more like, you know, this versus look how big the embroidery eye is. And sometimes those eyes can be a little thinner. So I like it just a little wider like that. But I mean, there's definitely a difference. So if I probably could, if I worked real hard, get my 3 strands of embroidery floss into this tiny little guy here, but it would not be easy or fun. But now I want the challenge. I want to see if I can do it. I'm going to snip this. This is that straw, like size, I don't know, 9 or 8 or something straw needle. So I'm kind of twisting these a little bit so they're closer together, so it's not as wide of a bit. But I think I can. Oh yeah, see, it's too much floss for that little itty bitty eye. If I worked real hard, I could probably force it in there, but you know, with this bigger eye, it's so much easier. There we go. Pinch real hard and get it in there. Oh, Gretchen, what way do you do it? I missed it. You take the floss, fold it over the needle, oh, and then mush the fold. So that's how I used to do it. So what Gretchen is saying is she folds it over. You fold it over the needle, and you know, it makes like a good crease, right? You're kind of like ironing it almost. So there, now I got like this nice kind of sharp fold there, and then you kind of stuff that into it, which works. However, you're dealing with twice the thickness as just like a nice clean cut edge like this. I guess you don't have, like, if you bump on this, it might start to fray, so you don't have that happen if you fold it over, but I think it's easier just because you're using half as much thread. So I don't know. But yeah, I think do whatever works for you. That's perfect. Oh, your copy of Wisecraft came today. Awesome, Carla. What a beautiful book with wonderful ideas. Oh, I love it, Carla. I put it on my top 5 craft books. They're all, like, I want to do every single project in that book, except for the racing one, because we don't race. I have no racing numbers. So one of the projects in Blair's Wisecraft Quilts book is, like, you know, if you're doing a running race, like a marathon or whatever, right? You get a number that you pin, you know, on like that weird paper that's kind of fabric-y but kind of paper-y, that you pin to your shirt, you know? She made a quilt out of all those numbers because it kind of sews like fabric. It's kind of like fabric. It's a weird fabric. So she made a quilt out of, like, I think her husband's biking numbers, something like that, for bike racing. And it was so cool, but so I can see making every quilt except for that one. But a lot of the other quilts are just all so sweet, and a lot of it's from materials, found materials and recycled materials, and it's just a really great book. Use the needles that came with your kits. Oh, had some success. Oh, okay, good, Janet. So what I'm using is the same that's in the kits. This size 5 embroidery needle. So, okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, you can try what Gretchen's way too, like what I just did with the folding over. That might be super helpful. So you can give that a try. You could do a race quilt to document all your quilts and sewing projects. Yeah. All right, I'm weaving in the end right here because I don't have that much thread left, and it's going to be easier to just start fresh on this last little line. So I'm going to weave in my 3 times here. I want to get this, the border of this house done for sure tonight. The racing idea for a t-shirt quilt. Oh, does she have a t-shirt quilt in there? I don't remember if she does or not. But yeah, I mean the racing idea. I mean it's just a patchwork quilt, but the numbers just look really cool because they're all these big numbers and some are cut really interestingly and all sewn together. So I mean, you could do the same thing with any fabric, really, like big patterned fabric. So like a t-shirt, yeah, you could do something similar, like cut into the t-shirts and stuff, but it looked so graphic because of the numbers. They were all like these big black numbers on the white background. It was just really kind of interesting. All right, I'm gonna grab more floss here. Let's see, fingertip to elbow. I like going a little bit longer than that just because I'm lazy. That's too much switching. I'm gonna go a little longer. So I go about 2 feet. Let's see. Wonder how long this really is. That's about a foot, right? I go about 2 feet. Typically. All right, I'm gonna pull my 3 strands out of there again. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. Let's put these together, and so we'll sew down to here, and we'll have extra left. Probably not enough to do the whole house though. So I'll probably end it, and then maybe, well, we'll just see. But for sure I want to stitch that line first. Oh, you saved all your race bids. Would do that as a quilt. So Lucy, that's what she does in the Wisecraft quilts book. She uses those, like what you're saying, your race bibs, and she cuts those up and she sewed them into this adorable quilt. And since for her husband, I think it was for her husband, he biked, so when she quilted it on her machine, and she quilted a little bike in it. It was really cute. Applique with wool fabric. Oh, Athena, we should do a project here like that sometime. Applique with wool. That'd be fun. I have a lot of wool scraps. Let's see. We should think of a project that we can do that with. All I've really done is, you know, like blanket stitched around it to attach it. Oh, you did it Gretchen's Way for Cruel Embroidery long ago, but forgot all about that. Oh yeah, I'm totally with you. This is why I learn all my stuff. This is like a little between like everyone's shared knowledge here and shared like questioning and thinking, you know. I feel like I've learned like a ton. You would do a wool project? You know what? It's getting to be, oh God, I hate to say this, but it's getting to be winter coming up here soon, and that seems like it would make sense to do a wool project, right? I'll have to think about that. We're pretty scheduled as far as projects, I think through like December, but here winter goes like into March, so. But yeah, I'll start thinking about that because that would be fun to do a little wool applique project. And they're easy and fun. Oh, and the trapunto, I think it's the T. I'm not sure how to say that. I'm not sure how to say it either, but I know what you're talking about. So that's where you applique fabric, but then you stuff it from the back so it all poofs out. So like if we did that with these hearts, we might have had to add like pleats and stuff to it, but it poofs out. And you know what? I have this book, and I think I have it right here. I'm gonna grab it quick. But this book was on my top 5 book. It's The Art of Manipulating Fabric, and she does all sorts of, like, see all this poofy stuff? That would be trapunto. Oh, gosh, I think that's how you say it. But it's just like a whole how-to. Let me see if I can find some. But it's just how to, like, all different ways to manipulate fabric. It's kind of crazy. I'm hoping it pops out at me, but it's not really. Well, kind of like this. Like, this is almost, I think this is just quilting, but how you can kind of poof out certain bits by stuffing it. Oh, here we go. So they're stuffing it. So let's see some examples. But this is it. You're quilting, and then you cut open the back and you stuff it. Oh, stuffing. That's this whole chapter. All right, so there should be pictures at some point. Oh yeah, so here we go. So kind of like this. So it's all stuffed like this. You can do shapes and crazy stuff. Oh, this is awfully cute. So this is kind of what we're talking about. And I think you can, oh yeah, like look at some of this crazy stuff. Here's some leaves and berries and stuff. These are actually raised. I think there's a separate thing that's sewn on. But anyway, that would be like a weird, fun thing to try. So here they had to actually, to raise it up super high, she had to actually gather this shape. So this was probably a bigger triangle that she gathered because it needed to be higher here. You know what I mean? So, you know, the fabric's not just gonna move where you want it. You need to bunch it up sometimes or have pleats. Like here, there's a whole other edge to it, you know? So anyway, that might be a fun thing to look into, but that's a fun book. I like paging through that book. Trapunto, that's what it is. There you go, Patricia. I like looking through that book just for texture, just for inspiration. Like, it's so cool, all those different effects that she's getting with fabric. And there's no projects or anything. It's just, here are neat effects, and here's like where you can take them. Like, she'll get really abstract with them too. But yeah, I've never, well, I did do that with one of my Splendid sampler embroideries. I did cut open the back and stuff one of the flowers, but I haven't really done much with that. And not so it's super 3D either. Like where you have to manipulate the fabric in a way beforehand to allow for it to expand. That would be kind of fun. Make like a weird poofy quilt or something with little blobs growing out of it. That would be pretty fun. That would be a good baby quilt. Like if you did like a flat patchwork quilt, but then there are these like blobs growing out of it. That'd be a good quilt. I'm like envisioning it. Oh man, I don't know. Be pretty fun. I'll have to think about that some more. Practice once or twice first, maybe. To get some really big shapes popping out of there. I don't know. So Blair actually does that in her book, Wisecraft Quilts, a little bit of that. And how she does it is with, she'll just put an extra layer of batting in. So like for a flower, for example, she'll cut an extra flower shape of batting and put that in and then stitch around that shape and not quilt in it at all. So that'll be, you know, double the batting size. So that's a way you can do it, is just double the batting. Another way is to cut open the back of, like, put a slit in the piece. So like if we wanted to do it with this heart, for example, we'd put a little slit in here, or like we'd put a little slit here and then stuff some fabric, or not fabric, some stuffing into there, and then it would, you know, poof this out a little bit. So that's another way to do it. But to get like super 3D stuff, you need to kind of put pleats and gathers and manipulate the fabric a little bit. I do not, Robin. It's just me and the hubs. and a few plants in the garden. Although we had turkeys outside today. I had to cross the road to the other side of the street because there were turkeys. Big turkeys that I was afraid of. They're gonna get me. So I kind of pet turkeys right now. All right, but no kids. Do you like how I compared kids to turkeys and plants just then? All right. I'm maybe a little too close. This is horrible, but I think I'm too close to stitch any further. I'm gonna stitch, yeah, see, I'm gonna stitch into my hoop there. So I gotta scooch down a little bit, which is annoying, but here we go. Put the hoop back on, and I'll do my last like 3 stitches down there. We do have a bit of, yeah, we'll do 3. We have some floss left, so I don't know. I was thinking maybe I just jump and do one of these windows, but really I don't think I have that much floss. I think I'm gonna just waste this floss and be done with it. We're gonna start fresh with a new piece of floss, because by the time I weave this in, it's gonna be just too short to do something with. All right. There's my last stitch. We got the house outlined. That's really what I wanted to for sure get done today. Oh man, and it's getting to be time again, so we might just call it right here, getting this outline done. I think that's what we'll do. And then tomorrow, which is Friday, tomorrow we will start working on these windows. The unicorn project will be later in November. So the rest of October is going to be finish it fall. We're gonna finish this block, and then we will, was that 2 or 3? I don't remember. But then I'm gonna finish up my hand stitched project because I never finished that. I'd like to finish that and sew it into the pillow. And then it's time, if you guys aren't done with a project, you can work on that a little bit for, you know, the last week and a half or so. And then we'll get block 4. So block 4, I'm assuming will take at least 2 weeks. And then right after that, we will start the unicorn project. And I will send an email out. I'll try and get that written this weekend and give a little update, because we were talking about some other projects like the recipe embroidery project and that bird coloring with crayons and stuff. So I will think about a schedule for all those things, and I'll put together a better schedule and share that with you guys next week. Oh, you ordered the kit for the unicorn? Awesome. And I'll bring that out. It's in my office right now, but I will bring that out tomorrow too to show you the unicorn kit. But that's awesome. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be quick and easy, and we're gonna end up, you know what we're gonna end up? We're gonna end up with like a stuffed animal version of this guy right here. It's gonna be so cute and fun, the unicorn project, and just quick. And I think it'll be like a perfect gift, perfect holiday gift for like a grandchild or a niece or nephew or something. I think it's gonna be really nice. So looking forward to finish it fall. Oh, good, Janet. I'm happy about that. It's just at some point things just kind of back up, you know, and then you need to just stop everything and get them done. Will I wash the blue ink on it? Oh, yes. So I haven't washed away any of the blue ink on any of my embroideries yet, but once it's all sewn, like maybe once we get into the quilt, or maybe before then, it's maybe however we feel, I will take a wet rag and dab all this off. So we will get rid of that, and I'll show you how to do that on here for sure. We won't skip any steps. I'll do the whole entire thing here on Facebook Live in the evenings here. So, all right, I'm gonna flip you guys around and we'll finish it up, but it's satisfying for me to have this outline done. It would have eaten at me a little bit if we had half the house not done yet. So, all right, I'm gonna turn you around. All right, still got my glasses on. I like them. They got these little purple crystally edges. They just make me happy to wear them. I think that's why I wear them more than anything. They have that blue blocking stuff in, so I'm trying to make my eyes not look so crazy tired when I'm here with you guys. So I'm hoping that works a little bit. We'll see. But all right, here we go. Oh, see, now that looks good. That's a full house there. I like it. Even if it doesn't have windows yet, it has one tiny little window. No doors though, so oh well. We're getting there. So awesome, guys. Thanks again for joining me tonight, and I will get this up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies. I'm hoping, it looks like it's recording tonight how it normally does, so there should be the comments this time. If there's not, I'll let you know in the comments or in the description on YouTube. So hopefully it's working. But thanks again, guys. It will also be here. If you're more of a Facebook person, it will also be here on Facebook in my video section or in my feed, so you can find it there as well. So I will catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good Friday and have a good rest of your Thursday evening. Thanks again. Enjoy hanging out with you guys. I will see you tomorrow.